Hey, here's a class for your Monday, little practice to do. If you want to grab some props, if you like to bring the floor closer, I have a block, you can use a book or anything that you like. Or if you just want something to sit on when we get to the floor, little pillow. And I'm also going to use, my mat strap. So you could grab a t-shirt, a towel, something like that. We're gonna do Gamakasana arms. Some of us don't even like to use a prop for that. But if you want one just for that purpose, go ahead and grab it, grab you some music, and we'll get started. So we're gonna start in a standing position. Just kind of tune into the breath, ground down, notice how we're feeling. There's areas that are tight or tense, areas we need to maybe give a little special attention to. And feel that root system work its way down into the mat or the earth, whatever you are choosing to stand on. Feel yourself grow up with your inhale. And as you exhale, trying to melt away tension, letting go of anything you don't need for the next 20 minutes or so. Notice if you're breathing through the mouth or nose. When we can breathe through the nose, that helps to filter the air. Not always necessary though. And just kind of check in, see what your hands are doing, what they feel like. If you're feeling tightness or tension there, need to shake a little bit out. We'll find some small shoulder rolls forward to start, and then in reverse. And then we'll add a little bit of movement. We'll sweep the arms up on our inhale. As we exhale, we'll come into chairs. Just a little bit of space we're creating in the arms and the legs. Letting this look however feels good for you. Maybe not so much bend in the knees. So we start to warm, just kind of acknowledging how we're feeling, letting the arms move in a position that feels good for your body. We'll meet with our arms at the top the next time we're there. Take a moment to just come into some alternating lateral flexion. My hands might disappear in the video. Just reaching tall through each side. We're really going to focus on those side body areas today. So reaching through both hands. As we exhale, we'll swan dive halfway into our forward fold. Test the waters here, and then if you decide to move a little deeper, feel free to. Inviting the ribs to the thighs, as much bend in the knees as you need. And then if it feels okay, we'll flow this. So we can inhale to mountain, exhale to forward fold, or maybe just stopping at that halfway down, because that's where we want to go today. So your choice here. We'll do this one more time. We will meet in our forward fold and take a moment to walk the hands from one side to the other. See where you notice sensation here. Making our way back to center. And then if you are kind of in the middle of your mat like me, want to move to one edge, you can. If you're already on one edge, perfect. If you want to stand up first and then move to that one edge, you can. So we're going to come into a forward fold near a shorter edge of our mat. And I'm going to step right foot back to start. You can do the same as me or the opposite. Just remember to switch. It makes no difference. Just kind of finding a lunge, maybe dropping that knee, test the water, see how we're feeling here. And then we will step our other leg back. We can come into our downward facing dog, or we can come into an all fours position. You get to choose. In all fours, we'll align the shoulders over the hands. We can protect with fist for wrist. If we're in down dog, we still want that alignment with shoulders and hands, hips and heels, maybe paddling the legs, working out some tension if we need to. And from whichever position we're in, we will make our way to that all fours and flow through our cat-cow pose. So making our way to our cat, lengthening the spine as we find our cow. Not worried about how quickly you move, just thinking more about creating space. Try to move one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll meet in a neutral spine and add a little bit of side-to-side movement here. So we're just gonna let our hips wag to one side and then the other. Just a little bit of side to side. We tend to do a lot of stuff in the straight line. So see if we can get out of that a bit here. Make our way back to neutral, melting into our first child's pose. See how we're feeling here. Make adjustments that we might be needing. And then we'll work our way through our half series. On our inhale, we make our way into a kneeling plank. Shoulders stack over hands. You could do fist for wrist here as well. Long spine. We'll slowly lower down. Try to use control. Elbows tuck in tight. Lowering down to the mat. And then we'll lift slightly. Coming to our baby cobra. In our baby cobra, we have little to no weight in our hands. And again, we'll just play with that side to side movement. So a little bit to one direction and then to the other. See how that feels. And then pressing up as we come back to that kneeling plank. Melting back to child's pose. Walking the hands to the right side of our mat. Coming back to center, and then walking them to the left. And we'll do that again. Hands come out in front, inhale to our kneeling plank, exhale as we lower, inhale to cobra, little side to side movement here. Make our way back to center, inhale through that kneeling plank, exhale as we melt back. We'll walk the hands to the left this time. Back to center. And then to the right. And back to center again. On our next inhale, we'll lift to that all fours position. We're going to wag our tail again. See if we've got a little more space, a little more heat, a little more fire in the low back, the hips. See how we're feeling. Then coming into a neutral spine. We can stay here in all fours. If you want to make your way back to downward facing dog, we'll curl the toes under, pressing the mat away, maybe walking the hands out just a bit, because for some of us going from all fours to down dog isn't exactly the right spacing. Again, option 2, pedal those heels a bit, check in. And then whichever foot you stepped back earlier, you'll step forward. So I stepped my right foot back. So I bring my right foot forward, I'm in lunge on the opposite side. And then those options here, maybe dropping the knee, melting down, checking in. On an inhale, we'll step our way into forward fold. And we're gonna again walk the hands around the feet, making a little rainbow. And then with an inhale, we'll make our way back to a standing position. Reaching the arms overhead into mountain. I am going to turn just so you can see me, but you can stay facing that short edge. We're gonna step our right foot behind our left here. Just a small movement. And really reach long through that right arm, maybe adding even a little twist here. Really getting a big long side stretch. And then we'll let that side come down. Right foot steps to its neutral position. Left foot steps behind. And left arm will reach up and over. And then we'll bring that out. So if you're still facing that short edge of your mat, we'll go ahead and reach the arms overhead. Inhale and then swan dive to forward fold on our exhale. We'll step the right foot back. We're coming into that lunge option again. This is also a nice time if you have a prop or want to play with props. Just kind of change your position with the floor. And then from here, we're going to walk ourselves to our long edge of the mat. So my right leg is behind. I'm going to turn toward my right and make my way so that I am in a standing straddle splits. Toes can point forward if that feels more comfortable for you. If it doesn't, you can turn those toes to the corners just slightly, just to make yourself feel a little more grounded and established. And if it feels okay, hinging forward, melting down. Again, we can play with those props, bringing the floor closer, or if we need to, rest the hands on the legs and just keep the heart elevated. Feel free to do so. On an inhale, we'll walk ourselves back into a standing position and move through some moonflowers. So inhale as the hands come into a 5-pointed star. Exhale as we gently bend the knees. Elbows and shoulders draw together. So in a long spine here. Kind of just noticing how we're feeling. And then we're going to meet at the top in our 5-pointed star. Let our arms come down into cactus arms. And we'll just twist to the left. So we always like to start our twist as low as we can. Let everything else kind of follow. Try to keep that long spine. We'll make our way back to center. And we'll twist to the right. Make our way back to center here. On our exhale, we'll melt into that moon pose. So knees are bent, feet are grounded, weight is equally distributed in all 4 corners of the feet. Maybe feel a little fire start to move through the hips, the glutes, the legs here. Test the waters, see how you're feeling. And if you'd like to come into those goddess arms here, we can. Arms could reach wide, your choice. Lift up anytime you need to. Hold the breath. Let it go. Inhale tall. 5-pointed star. Exhale as we move into our moonflowers. We'll meet at the top, melt back into our moon pose if that feels okay. Again, holding, option to come into some goddess arms. And maybe adding a little side to side movement if it feels okay. So we'll let the hands rest on the hips or the thighs. And we're gonna think about bringing right shoulder to left knee, lifting up left shoulder to right knee. So just see how this feels. Everybody's got different amounts of mobility, flexibility. Use a prop if you need to. We'll do it one more time on each side, and then we'll meet back at center. Grounding into the feet. Inhale, big, big, big breath here. Exhale as we melt forward, back into that standing straddle splits. If you have your prop or want to use a prop, we can come into a twist here. The prop just helps us keep that back nice and flat. Feet can walk out a little bit if you would like. So we'll bring the right hand to the floor or to the prop, and we'll just gently twist toward our left leg. Test the waters, see how it feels, trying to keep the hips level. And if we want to lift that left arm tall, we can. Broaden through the chest, find the breath. We'll melt the left hand down. Again, we could use a prop if we liked. We'll twist to the right leg. Option to lift the arm. Exhale as we melt our way back to center again. Hang out here for a couple of breaths. Kind of enjoy that standing straddle split. And then we are going to walk ourselves toward the opposite foot. So we come into lunge, the opposite direction. So walking towards what probably feels like it's the back side of your mat. Finding lunge here, checking in, making options, choices. And then on our next inhale, we'll step that foot toward the grounded foot. And we'll go ahead and enjoy a little side stretch here. I'm going to turn again. You don't have to. You can stay towards that short edge. Just like we did in a standing position, what we're going to do is let the left foot step behind the right, bend the knees, kind of notice how much tension you have going on in the hips and low back. And then as we start to straighten them, we'll continue to melt forward in a fold. Melting ribs to thighs and using the breath to find as much space as we can here. We'll take one more exhale here. And then as we inhale, we release that foot, switching feet. And again, start with a lot of bend in the knees, ground into both feet. And then starting to find a little extra lengthened space in the back of the legs as we use the breath to melt forward. And then we'll step back, shake everything out a little bit. Maybe find ragdoll pose, letting the hands wrap around opposite elbows, creating a little natural tension releaser in the neck. And then we'll shake the arms, the shoulders out. You may still be facing that short edge of your mat. Inhale as we lift tall. Arms sweep up, big full breath. Alternate that side to side stretch. One more time. Growing really, really tall. Reaching through both hands. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just a nice deep grounding breath here. Kind of check in. See how you're feeling. We'll make our way to some balance here. So we'll get playful. Put a smile on your face. Embrace wherever you are today. I'm gonna grab a real quick drink. If you'd like to step off your mat, feel free to do so. We're gonna actually move into pigeon, from pigeon into eagle. So walls are great props. Chairs, anything you'd like. Practice any pose you would like as well. I'm gonna ground into my right foot, let my left leg lift, maybe just playing with a kickstand today. We're coming into pigeon by crossing left foot over the right side, flexing the foot to take out some tension, and then maybe choosing to hinge forward a little bit. Because with any balanced pose, letting those arms give us stability, maybe flowing, see where we'd like them to be. And then we can stay here, we can make our way into eagle. So what we'll do is start to lift, still keeping at least a slight bend in that right knee. We'll let the left leg cross over as if we were sitting cross-legged, and just reach kind of around behind, see what that feels like. If you'd like to add eagle arms, I have my left leg on top, so I will bring my left arm in front, right arm wraps under, option to lift through the fingertips to open shoulders and upper back. And then exhale, releasing, shaking everything out, acknowledging one side might be different than the other. Grounding into the left foot, perhaps kickstand or tree here. If you want to come into pigeon, we'll flex the right foot. Melting, sinking, checking in. Let your branches go wherever you'd like them. And then maybe staying, enjoying this nice hip opening in our pigeon, or we can lift, keeping a slight bend in the knee. Right leg will cross around and behind just as far as your leg goes. And then if we want to play with those eagle arms, right arm will come in front, left arm underneath. Option to lift through those fingers. One more big breath here. Exhale. Shake it out. Let that all go. We're going to make our way to the floor here. So if you have anything you'd like to sit on, feel free to grab it. I always think the easiest way is to come into a big tall mountain, swan dive into our forward fold. And then you can come to all fours if you'd like. We're going to make our way to a seated position and practice our Gomukhasana, or our cow face. So if you want to sit on something slightly elevated, it's a nice place to start. You can always pull it back out. So left knee comes right in front of the belly button. Right knee crosses over the top. And we'll just start to test the waters here. As you notice space moving into your hips, and you use the breath to work out that tension, you can invite the heels to come a little closer to the hips. They may be where you normally are. You may feel a little tighter just because of lack of movement or exercise or inability to get out and get to yoga. We'll just check in here. And then if you want to add some Gomukhasana arms, I like to start with the strap. If you're sitting on that block and want to pull it out, feel free to do so. So I have my right knee elevated. So I'm going to start with my right arm up, lengthen through the fingertips, put the strap in that hand, and then allow the elbow to bend. The hand will just kind of fall to the back of the neck without pressing my head forward. So still long spine here. Left arm reaches around behind, and we start to walk the fingertips together. So sometimes they meet, sometimes we use that strap to find that connection point. You can also simply grab onto the back of your shirt. We invite space into both shoulders. And maybe even closing our eyes here. Just kind of noticing how we feel. It's a great chance to find some movement and space in hips and shoulders. Very active, busy joints that just don't get a lot of love. So trying to send that there today. And then with an exhale, let that go, shake it out. If you are using a strap, want to set it off to the side, we'll simply switch legs. So our right knee comes underneath, our left knee comes over the top. Think about the knees pointing straight out from your navel. Invite the hips and the heels to come a little closer together. If you want to pull your block out now, you can. If you want to put the strap in the left arm, reach tall, spine is still long, bending at the elbow, reaching the right arm around and behind. So still trying to grow up really tall. If you notice your back wanting to curve a lot, trying to keep those abdominals in tight. Finding the breath, maybe closing the eyes. And then with our next inhale, we start to release, letting go, shaking things out. You can set that prop to the side. If you are sitting on something, go ahead and come off of it, sweep the feet around. And we're gonna make our way to a supine position. However you like to get there. You can rock and roll back. You can move through a boat flow, kind of releasing slowly with control. And then when you make your way to the mat, we'll walk the heels toward the low body, and then lifting one leg and the other. You're gonna come into a supine eagle. So crossing right leg over left, kind of a scissor leg look, and then we'll bend the knees and invite the legs to fall down. If you can melt the shoulders into the mat, letting the upper body get a little relaxation here, that can be nice. If you would like to go ahead and reach for your thighs, your shins, your ankles, feel free to do so. Kind of just decide what feels best today. Or you can let the arms just hang, letting it be a more restorative variation. Notice the breath here. And we'll let the legs go long, shake it out a bit, and then we'll cross left leg over right. Start with those scissor legs, let that knees bend, drawing them toward the body. See if we can melt the shoulders down, and then we have that option of reaching for the shins, feet, thighs, whatever feels good. We'll let the legs go long. Again, shake it out, move any tension out of the body. Find your way into the pose where you would like to find Shavasana. We'll do a quick little relaxation here, and then know that you can always just press pause or stop or find a guided meditation, however you would like to get a little extra relaxation. So we'll take a big inhale in. Try to move as much oxygen into the body as you can. And then exhale as we let it go. And then we're going to try to imagine that relaxation working its way through the whole body. So as you close the eyes, trying to feel very heavy, feel as though the back of the body is melted and released. And just imagine a flood of warmth or relaxation moving over the crown of the head, over the scalp, the face, the cheeks, the jaw, the back of the head, the neck, the throat, the shoulders and chest, the upper back, the lower back, the belly, the arms fully engulfed in relaxation, the hips release, the knees soften, the ankles relax and melt. And letting that relaxation flow all the way from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Feeling free to stay here as long as you would like. Or to maybe roll to one side, press up, come back into a seated position. Sitting up tall, we'll roll the shoulders forward one time really big, and then roll them back one time really big. Inhale as the hands flow to our hearts, and closing our practice with Namaste. Thank you for practicing. Have a great day.